Is the magic working? It's so loud, that's what it is. Is it still crazy loud? That's the question. Yeah, that's a little better. Welcome in, folks, if anybody's hopping in so far. Let's take it down to solid 22 decibels. What's up, folks? All right, we're sounding pretty good over on YouTube. We might be a little quiet still. See if that volume works any better for us. I wonder if does this mess up for y'all too? Feeling a little better for me. Hey, what's up, Jim? Catching this live. Welcome in for a unique experience today. We'll be taking a pixel pilgrimage here in a little bit. We're just setting some levels because it's been a minute. Yep, it's been. All right, I think we sound good. I feel like we sound good. This is a bop, you say. I agree. This is a bop. So this is actually a Spotify playlist that we made years ago called Chipped and Ripped. So essentially what happened was we had an event that went on at Checkpoint where we did a mileage tracking challenge for the entire month. And I think whenever we reached a certain goal, we had people that participated submit their favorite songs that could go onto a chiptune workout playlist. And so that's what you're listening to right now. And the reason for that is because I can't get Spoofy to open. So I had to go to a browser to open it. But thanks for being here. Appreciate you tuning in to Checkpoint Church, church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. Like I mentioned just moments ago, you're in for an interesting experience today. This is called a pixel pilgrimage. And a pixel pilgrimage is an experience that we are doing for the third time today. It is a spiritual journey into a video game. So we're going to be playing a game called The Beginner's Guide. We're going to be trying because my computer has crashed a couple times on this game. So we will see. We're going to be attempting to play this game. And throughout the process, we're going to be asking ourselves some questions. So if you have the next hour and a half to 2 hours free, then I'm going to encourage you to stick around for the whole stream. If you've got to hop off, that's okay. Of course, we understand. And then we have another thing I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But whatever your circumstance or wherever you may find yourself in regards to this experience, we're glad that you're here. We're glad to have you as a part of this space today. And we're going to be walking through a video game and asking ourselves, like I said, some important questions. So what are those questions is going to be your first question, I'm sure. And the answer to that is hopefully going to appear on the screen magically in front of us. It did indeed. All right, so these are the 4 questions we're going to be pausing and asking ourselves. They're up here at the top. You may be able to read them, you may not. It's kind of a, the pen here is a very fine point pen. I guess I could be using something a little bit more, but what are you noticing? What are you avoiding? What's missing and what's delighting you? And then we're actually going to start our time. We're going to ask those each time we take a pause. But we're going to start our time with some intentions that we're bringing. So what are some intentions that you might have in this experience? And then something I'm going to point out, this is something new we're adding, but I want to encourage you to keep an eye out for the divine. So you don't have to be a Christian to be in this space. You don't have to believe in God to be in this space, but this is nonetheless a spiritual journey. And so we're looking out for where is the divine, where is the mystic, where is the spiritual in the midst of all of this. And so at the very end of our time, we're going to reflect on the game and we're going to ask ourselves, where did we see the divine? So rather than asking every single time we ask these 4 questions, we're going to ask at the very end. And the reason for that is an intentional one. Why don't we just throw this in as a 5th question you may be asking? And we may somewhere down the road, who could say? But for now, sans Undertale in my ears. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask these 4 questions during our time because these 4 questions are internal questions. This one is really an external sighting. So these are things that we're asking ourselves. What am I noticing? What am I avoiding? What do I feel is missing? What am I delighting in? And then where are we seeing God? That's more like, where did we see God? So yeah, it could be, where did I see this? But nonetheless, I want to keep that train of thought for our ending time, not our beginning time. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to read through the chat here for just a second, see what we got going on. Appreciate you being here. Welcome in to Twyla, DGC, Joanna, to Jim, to Eric, to Marlena, to Lizzie. Glad that y'all are here. Hopefully you can see the chat okay, and you can see everything okay in this experience. We're going to get right into it here in just a moment. The question is Spoofy too distracting in the background? And it may very well be. It may very well be. Let me really quickly get something for you guys. So, we also have a very special announcement today. So this is something that's been a long time coming, but is officially now in existence. So, I mentioned earlier, this is our 3rd Pixel Pilgrimage. This is our 3rd time taking a spiritual journey into a video game. And we realized that not everybody, yeah, it's a little distracting. I'll turn it down even further. Or maybe we could go to some smoother jams and not Megalovania out. We'll turn it down another half. We'll see if the next song is any calmer. They shouldn't be because they're all chipped and ripped. We didn't think about that, did we? If Spoofy was working, it'd be okay. Anyway, gonna have a good time. So the special announcement is maybe you are unable to experience these pixel pilgrimages in real time. That's understandable. Not everybody has 2 hours that they can set aside to join us on these journeys into video games. Sometimes a journey needs to happen asynchronously. It needs to happen in the time that you've got allotted to you throughout the week. And so understanding that, we want to make sure that you still know that there is an opportunity for you. Or maybe you're not even a part of Checkpoint. Maybe you don't consider yourself a part of Checkpoint Church, but you want to share this with your church community or with your spiritual director or with somebody that you think could get some value out of this. We're going to be offering a new hub, the Pixel Pilgrimage Hub, which is going to be a space for you to go and take a pixel pilgrimage for yourself. It's going to be a little bit more like involved than these are. We're going to have some questions. It's going to be set up as a course. And so you can go one chunk at a time, which is typically about 30 minutes at a time, into the game, answer our 4 questions as you always do, but then also you can engage on a deeper level with some engaging like Bible study-esque questions in the midst of it. The hub is free. So I'm going to drop that in the chat really quickly. This is an invite, an official invite to get you into the hub. You are welcome to utilize this to join it. 100% free. It will get you into our space, and you will be welcomed in. It feels a lot like a Discord. We're using a community called Circle. And so you can log into that. And when you get there, you're going to see a bunch of things like a place to introduce yourself. You're going to see the ability to engage in a live conversation with each other, kind of like a group chat. You're going to have a lot of opportunities in that space. And then you're going to see that we have a course for the pilgrimage, the very first one that we did, into a game called Neva. And so we have put up the course for $50. We consider this to be a live guided experience. And this is a way of paying for that guide. We understand that might not be feasible for everybody. If this is a problem for you to access this, let us know, and we will make sure what we can do. Is the full name visible to everyone? I would assume it's the same rules as Discord. So whatever you put as your username will be available to everyone. Email address will only be visible to the admin, which is Checkpoint Church. Going through this. So all of that is to set up your account. I won't have access to your password, and I think I'll be the only one that has access to your email address because it's just like a Discord server, effectively. The real reason we went with this is because we wanted to be able to provide the courses themselves. So this is another means of sustainability for Checkpoint. This is a way that Checkpoint can offer something out into the world that might be able to keep our ministry going financially, sustainably. But also, this is a way that people outside of the Checkpoint community can learn about pixel pilgrimages and take one on their own time. Now, if you're interested in having a larger conversation about sending your youth group on a pilgrimage, or your small group on a pilgrimage, or your whole church community on a pixel pilgrimage, reach out to me and let's have that conversation, because I'm open to a lot of different ideas. And in fact, we've already done some really cool things, with Wisened in the chat being one of the cool people taking it out into the world and hosting a live pixel pilgrimage. So these are options that are on the table. You just have to reach out to us and we'll talk about what the possibilities are there. So I'm going to wrap up the advertising, because that's, not as fun to just do an advertisement here. So we're going to turn now over into our game for today. So again, I mentioned you're playing through the beginner's guide. This game is an intriguing experience. I have already played it. This is the second time that I'll have played it, but this is a game that literally, as I was playing it, I said, oh man, this has got to be our next pixel pilgrimage. This is an impactful, life-changing video game. It's really powerful stuff. And so what I'm going to ask us to consider is what intentions we might be bringing into this. And in order to help you craft those intentions, I'm going to say some things about this game. This game is made by the same person who created the Stanley Parable, as well as later on in their career, Wanderstop, which is a game that we have a nerdy sermon about, and we've talked about here at Checkpoint quite a bit. This is an experience that is coming from someone who has experienced a large degree of success and is now dealing with some imposter syndrome and is now dealing with some challenges to their identity, to what makes a successful person, and to what it looks like to make a video game. And that's in real life. That's what this developer is dealing with. In the game, the developer is going to be sort of playing a characterized version of themselves. And so definitely a significant lineup, yes, which is an incredible series of games, to say the least. So the story of the game is going to be that this developer wants to share with us the creations of someone else, of somebody that inspires them. And we'll let them talk about the rest of it. This game is going to have a lot of talking, and it's not going to be a lot of me talking. I will still be pausing us periodically and talking to you, of course. But for the most part, this is going to be a game with a lot of words and a lot of narration. Speaking of words, is Spoofy talking to me right now? Advertisements? No way. All right, we'll just turn off Spoofy. We got ads at the same time as Wisened. There's something fortuitous about that. So I think I've done enough setup here to give you the idea that this game is a game about burnout. This game is a game about success. This game is a game about what it means to be a creative in a field of creativity where we compare ourselves to one another. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the pad here. With this in mind, I want to encourage you in the chat. Weigh in. What intentions are you bringing into this experience? Let's try and do like 2 or 3 if you got them. So what are you bringing with you to this experience? Maybe this is a revisiting of this game and you're looking to see, what did I miss on the first go? That's something for me. So I want to see, what did I miss? What did I miss on my last playthrough? Something else that I'm bringing with me is a sense of background noise. I want to see what's going on in the background of the game this time. And then this is something that's a little bit different for us. So far, we've done 3 dramatically different games for our pilgrimage, and so I'm bringing with me, as I have with our past 2 pilgrimages, a sense of curiosity and openness. I do apologize if my handwriting is completely illegible, but this is what I'm offering right now. With that, I'm going to encourage you guys to keep on filling in the chat as I try to get this game to start. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And I also want to pull up so that I can hear how it sounds. Unfortunate news. Okay, let's go ahead and tune over. I did get the game to start. Can you all hear it? Is the magic question. Here's some birds. Here's some bird sound. Oh no, it's not gonna let me use controller. Okay, good. All right, let's hear how it sounds. I feel like it's pretty loud. It's just bird sound for the most part. We're going to turn on closed captioning just for our purposes today. And I feel pretty good about it. All right. Let's read through your responses before we get started. And I'm gonna trust that the sound is good from this point on. If for any reason the sound changes, if one of our checkpoint folks would make sure to let me know, I would very much appreciate it. Okay, so let's see what levels we're bringing in. What intentions are we bringing in here? Twyla says, same here, especially now as someone in this field. Eric says, definitely seeing this game through new and older eyes, a bit more life experience. I think my intention will be learning something about myself, says Sierra, most likely through how I react. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming, sun is shining. All right. I think we're looking good. So we're going to go ahead and start the game. Captions are on. And like I said, be ready for quite a bit of narration. But let's begin this game experience together. Welcome to the latest Pixel Pilgrimage, the Beginner's Guide. I am your guide, Nerd Pastor Nate. You're going on the journey with Checkpoint Church. We're glad that you're here. Whatever intentions you're bringing with you, we're glad they're here. Pay attention to what your body is noticing, to what you're feeling a draw away from, to what's missing from this space, and what's bringing you joy and delighting you in this space. And all the while, make sure you're keeping an eye out for where the divine might be. The audio's on. The controls are simple. We got 2 sticks and the A button.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay, so we're already getting a little bit of a look here. Curious to know what we're finding. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of narration. I'm going to do my best to walk around and show you guys everything that I can. But I encourage you in the chat to weigh in as you're seeing things, as you're noticing them. Again, we're going to pause every give or take like 30 minutes. But yeah, I do imagine he still gets emails based on that email alone. I wonder if it even is like actually log-inable. And agreed there, Twyla, made by a real person, hits different in 2025. Indeed, in an era where this could very well be what looks like a game made by an LLM or some kind of artificial intelligence agent, it is a fascinating world. All right, let's enter into the experience. We've started in our first world, the very first game, which was just kind of a random map with some random walls. Now we are entering into something that is a white space with what looks like a level from an N64 game.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift to structure connected.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
We always go down the lit way, right? No! The light was a fake out.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Well, sure enough, we got a white box down there.
Apparently, the space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead. The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
All right. Before we get to that, let's take a quick pause. So I think we're in an interesting place now where we've got an idea of what the game is about. We've got an idea about what is happening so far. So even though this is a little bit shorter of a chunk than I would have normally wanted to stop at, I'm going to encourage us to take just a quick second and to pause. So consider some things with me. What are you noticing? What are you avoiding? What's missing? And what is delighting you in this experience so far? Let me know in the chat as you're coming up with things. While you're doing that, I'm going to read through some of the thoughts we have so far. So we've got some continued conversations going on about the emails and the GoldenEye reference there, and then the conversation there about the gun that was included, even though there are no monsters included in the system. Maybe the gun was a part of the game engine template. Maybe it was a pre-built kind of thing. Whatever it could have been. And Lizzie says, no enemies, but still bullets, not unlimited bullets, sirens of light giving emergency, but no threat. That's pretty familiar. All right. So what are we noticing? What are we avoiding? What's missing? What's delighting us? All right. So far, I've seen noticing different games. The narrator's video game analysis is kind of a mixture of avoiding and delight. Kind of giving us a pilgrimage guide. I wonder what could have possibly triggered me to this game. What could have convicted me about my experience with this game? Avoiding interactions with things other than the narrator. So I'm going to add on to that and say that the narrator is forcing us to avoid things other than the narrator. We can't try to solve the labyrinth. We're being kind of foisted into other worlds. And that is also missing, interactions. Delighting is the chance to think about things more than the surface. Think deeper. Something else that is missing is Coda. Where is Coda in all of this? What's going on? We've got this game developer that is inspired by this other game developer. Where's Coda? Where are they at? Noticing that, says Coyote. Noticing Coda missing. Working on just being present and noticing your own body as you play through the experience or as you experience it. Avoiding the sirens. A break, noticing the release schedule. Yeah, avoiding the sirens, danger warnings. Good. All right. That's where we'll stop our first consideration and we'll get back into the game. But I think we're in a good spot. Keep on thinking through these things. You're noticing the things that I'm noticing as well. Noticing a second voice, delighting in the experience, a lack of color. Maybe that's too harsh. Well, in the first couple levels, we certainly had a lack of variety. All right. The past was behind her. I'm going to be doing something for you in this space.
So try walking backwards.
Yeah. I know to do the backwards thing, but you can only move in this world backwards.
In this game, you can only walk backwards. So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
The future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
A little spooky, a little disconcerting, I agree. Uh-oh, even more spooky. You are now entering
and that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
nonsense in nearly every direction.
Bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do? I know it's tempting, but there's actually nothing over here. Sorry.
Definitely a lack of color in different settings so far. Seems to be mainly plain rooms. Is there anything over here? Ooh.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Stand on an X staring at a bear for 3 hours. A game where you collect items, except the game automatically quits when you collect them all. Game of only motivational quotes, played one after the other while the player cannot move. You run a shop inside your own body selling your organs.
And nice and filled with little ideas for games.
You are the queen, dusting your jewelry while your kingdom is destroyed.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes
stranger
time
appears.
to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Has me thinking how I can get to those other buildings, not because there might be something there, just to see if we can. Ready, set, fish. Loki felt kind of inspired to make a room like this when I played TBG for the first time. It is interesting, isn't it?
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
A bit degrading there. All right, I do know the solution to the puzzle, but does anybody else want to try to solve it? You click on this. And then you go inside. And there's nothing here. Now, I happen to know the solution is you open it. And notice how slowly it closes. Then you go inside. You trap yourself inside. And then there's a little solution here.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
Look, I'm just trying to be a guide here. I'm doing my best Davey impression. Do you want to try to solve it?
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
What was that about wanting to go and visit rooms?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
If your role here is not to understand, then what is it? Oh, we're back here again. You are now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing. The Great and Lovely Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Let's do
Every
it.
video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
This game predicted Fork Knife. Did you see that? Fork Knife real. Oh. Video games are art indeed. A little spooky. No. I sure did try. This game also predicted whatever that game is where you're trying to climb. Not Bennett Foddy, but close enough. Actually, I'm pretty sure that Bennett Foddy and Davey are, if not friends, at least like good acquaintances. All right. Got a gate. Some sketchy hallways. Ooh. Closed. Oh, okay. Whoa. Get off. Oh, I can't. All right, in we go. Oh.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
What if I wanted to wait? I wonder if I could try waiting.
And I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Coyote says this game feels like the narrator is tricking us somehow. Overall sensation of distrust. An interesting point for sure. Definitely some sus words. Definitely avoiding waiting. Oh, look. Does anybody want to try to solve this puzzle?
Again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Sierra says, I think this Coda guy doesn't like to have fun. Maybe not. Definitely like Davey said earlier, kind of an abrasive and cold personality. Doesn't mind being known that way. Something about the fact that Davey spent that amount of time looking for something in those playable games, but won't have you wait an hour amuses me. Yeah, Davey gets to wait. We don't. Living into his mentality of not wanting to make people wait, even in the midst of this. Oh. But you don't know what you're missing. Please don't yell at you. They're all just blank rooms. You there? Did you come up from above? What was up there?
Using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
There was a world stamp of whiteness. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in. There were these floating colored blocks. Let's see. I kind of like the prison one, since we didn't actually get to do that. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? I did. Literally the last thing I did. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. I'd prefer not to tell you after all we've only just met. Should I lie? Lying is interesting. I prefer not to tell you after all we've only just met. I'll be coy. What? But you don't understand. We're trapped here. That puzzle's our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Let me describe it for you. Let me tell you all about what is over there. All right, I'll tell you how to solve it. Why not? I'll tell him how to solve it. Wonderful. Well, what is it? What's the answer? Please, speak to me. Tell me how to escape. Tell me how to be free of this prison. I must know. It's the most important thing. There must be an ending. I don't get to tell them anymore. That's it. I just leave. Oh, wait, never mind. Here they are. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? You guys don't remember me? I'll lie this time for Lizzie. I've been here the whole time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the blank space in the middle. Oh, really? That's interesting. That's not something that I got last time. What would happen? Why would I do that? Oh, it's plenty peaceful. It may not seem that way at first, but you'll come to think so in time. Eventually. So you guys aren't interested? You guys aren't interested like the other guys in solving the puzzle? What you got on that table? Book. Taking away my choices again. Delighting in the odd dialogue. They definitely have some strange ways of speaking.
Down to the final floor of the level.
Apartamento.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Will it, Davey? To Nanya. He wants a checkpoint. Or an end point. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. This is one of my favorite levels in this game. Nice room. Not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
All right, another message. How do you beat this game? No point to this. It's a lot of messages. Whoa, spelled incorrectly. You guys hear me? Hello.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing
Reasonable.
extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Everyone read this.
Either way, to me, they convey a
Hey,
sense of loneliness. I
this
see
place
this
makes me
person
sad.
who's filled with thoughts and feelings.
The guy over there wrote
beliefs,
much wrong.
and has no way to express them.
I'd
except
rather
as
be doing literally anything
scattered
other than
and
this.
unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Hey, I can type here. There are many messages in this area. Why?
It's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and
We're running out of
seeing how
space.
alone
Soon we will
Chris often
suffocate.
felt,
Cool
we
cavern, bro.
get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
All right, it's a mixture of boring. I can assure you there is an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Not even sure how much we'd solidified the idea of parasocial back in 2015 when this game released. Guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. This one over in the corner. Okay. Recognize me, please. One feels a little vulnerable. Nothing here. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. Need other side. Door. Why you so... Door how open? Open sesame. Makes game. Includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Someday I'll meet the person who made this. But you are the person who made this. Interesting. Help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Where's Lizzie? Remember we were talking about art? There's some art for you. New room. Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? I would very much like to be desired. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. It's not very crowded here. You can go in here, I think. Welcome, congratulations. I really don't know where to go with this. Yeah. Don't bother. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. It's a good one. This is where I get off. Failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Take my hand, let's jump together. I'm too scared. Cabbage shapes our nation. What is that painting? Does not matter if you ever get over there. Hey, don't talk about me that way. Very good game. Noticing I get quickly flustered with deliberate confusion. I think I'm this is not going anywhere. Next time I'll do better. I need someone to talk to. This is a note. Don't listen to the other notes. Only me. I'm not like other notes. I'm not safe. Davey, really don't trust this dude. He seems to contradict himself, and he's also stalkery. Today, I learned you cannot fall off. Wait, so could I not have jumped up there? Ethical. Well done, all of you. Painting, what does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. So if we're to believe Davey here, then all of these notes were written about a piece of art that this person made. Stop faking it. Art. Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. Help, I am trying to speak. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. I hear some whispering. From up here, it just looks like dots. If you say so. I think it's pretty nice. Cabbage shapes our nation once again. We will all die someday. Who are all of you? I saw a person walking down there, but now it won't come back. Where? I don't see nobody. Devil Tower Star. It's about how this game is pretentious. Stop pretending you're other people. It doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower Star. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Maybe I'll feel real someday. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means.
Scared of writing something.
Represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Downward, keep digging.
Each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Well, doesn't this feel very Half-Life? How do you leave notes? There's the lamppost. A bunch of typewriters. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak. Porn stars die too.
Okay, this one is tough.
We're going to pause. We're in chapter 9. We're going to take a quick second. Get back into our conversation. I'm going to encourage you and invite you once again to consider, what are you noticing? What's missing? What's avoiding? What are you avoiding? And what is delighting you? While you're all working on your thoughts, let's see. Coyote says, publicly seeing someone else's work with his own psychoanalysis dubbed over it. Distrust is growing and you feel bad for Coda. Twilight says, to Coyote's point there, yeah, I'm in between wondering about the overlap of what we're doing here versus, say, a video essayist or media critic type, and feeling for Coda. Can't read all the chat. Yeah, it is. I'll read everything that I can out loud, but it is supposed to be on the side. For delighting, some of the very gamery humor in the text bubbles. Yeah. The funny bubbles are delightful. Noticing the typewriters. We're noticing Coda's puzzle. Curious why this was my favorite level. Notice a giant piece of art. I'm just going to say art in general for Lizzie. What's missing? What are we avoiding? One of my favorite levels, because I find the mechanic of the very concept itself of a level that lies to you, that says this is connected to the internet and then isn't, and leaves a myriad of notes, not a non-trivial amount of notes written by the developer. I find that really intriguing. I'm wanting to avoid the whispers. They're driving me crazy. Coda is still missing. None of this has been verified by Coda. Missing our own opportunity. We can't leave a note. Which is a little joke there at the end, right? How do we leave notes? Everyone that's made it to that point, which would only be whoever has been given this game, missing is Coda's consent. What else are we avoiding? A very unreliable, noticing an unreliable narrator. How do we know it isn't Coda? Interesting thought. Noticing the lamppost. What else are we avoiding? Anything else we're avoiding before we get back into the game? All right. We'll avoid the whispers for now, and we'll get back into the game. All right. We continue. Chapter 9, Escape, May to June 2009.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Listening too hard to Davy, trying to avoid him. There's a lamppost, sort of. A lamp. I think, are these prison bars or are these blinds? Oh, what's this? Oh. Almost sounds like construction noises. Rhythmic. Machine-esque. We're at the bottom of the well.
The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
There's the well. No doors. Oh, what furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Big old hole. Oh, that's not a hole. Okay, what about along the wall of the room? More realistic this time. Picture of a horse. Oh, it's a couch. It's 2 couches. What should we light up this room with? Skylights, Tesla coils. Oh, which is a lamp. And a table. You need a table. We already have a table. Pretty sure that none of my choices are making any difference. Oh, I guess those are both tables. Oh, whoa. Oh.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
No. Well, let me walk backwards. Yeah. On a slight level up from the game itself, wondering about your initial framing IRL, Davey, plus imposter syndrome, and whether narrator Davey or even Coda represent that at all. Isn't that the question? That door was strangely placed. Having it there would give me anxiety. Perfect picture of a horse. The way Davey is so critical but knows so much is giving an Aaron Burr, someone who hates on themselves. The illusion of choice. Hearing weird for weirdness sake from the Stanley Parable guy. Indeed. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Any? Follow the instruction carefully. Take care that you remember each step. Okay. First, click on this table. Done. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Done. Turn the floor lamp in the room off, then turn it back on. You got it. Now go to the left side sofa and move it over a little. You got this. Touch the shelves. Yeah. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. You got it. Thanks. Return. Easy. Yeah, oh.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
There's also no picture frame.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like at
the puzzle.
You just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on. But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That
Whoa.
particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
So dark. There's that lamppost. Okay. I can't actually go over there. Won't let me go any further than these boundaries. Gotta go in the phone booth. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yes, I was in the furniture maze, the escape tutorial, the reverse prison. I was in all of them. I like the escape tutorial the most.
What Coda wants is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
That's where I am right now. I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape?
Talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Completely still, yet wildly in motion at the same time. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out, and then things will be exactly the same as before. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. I'll go with that one. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. Age just kind of does that. I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy being who you are right now. It won't last. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like all those. I'm gonna go with 3 for now. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. Yeah, talk with me. What? That will free me? How does that work? You can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just talk to me, it'll make sense. Okay, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I'll be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Because the pilgrimage's context, low-key makes me think about how we approach scripture.
Make a game about talking to someone other than himself.
This is another of my favorite levels.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't worry about me. A place this nice, I'll be glad to stay here all night.
The quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Are we cleaning this whole place? And that's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here? In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Done. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now, would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? It's the bathroom. Of course. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out that rug? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy what you do? Well, I don't enjoy it so much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed in either way, it seems, which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out over there? Sure. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. Are you okay with that? Yeah. I'll try to get by. No, it was stupid. Sorry, never mind. Hey, those dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Done. Thank you. Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best as you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Yeah, you look it, huh? Scrub a tub. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you please put them back on the shelf? Of course. Oh, that felt really nice. That felt really nice. The Orchid Thief. I want to know what books. Why is that the only one I can make out the title of? Oh wait, there's one.
It's the moment
Edward.
after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and
Calvino?
digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Oh, the dishes are back, huh? Dishes back on the table. Are all houses this easy to clean? Darling, let me tell you something. In your lifetime, you're going to clean a lot of houses, and among all of those, a few of them will stick out as truly wonderful, beautiful experiences, and none of them will be the ones that were easy. Just something to think about while you smooth out the rug in the bedroom.
Kuda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. There's truth in it, no? Anyway, so housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Question. Do you enjoy
Of
this?
course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Remind me to come back here. I really like that song. I really like this level. The I Need It reminds me of St. Francis and finding prayer in the mundane, says Lizzie. This reminds me of the allegory of Jesus Christ helping clean the house of your soul. And then how is it with your house? Indeed, interesting points. And what a beautiful house it is. No walls. Or all windows, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. There's that lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. Items you love at members-only prices.
That's a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No! You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy. Being perfect is effortless. This is the key to effort. On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their own dreams.
And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. So you can move around the classroom now.
Let me tell you right now, it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. Oh, no! Well, what's on these notes, I wonder? I wonder if anybody's ever zoomed in and, discerned what these are. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Drinking is not hurting my life. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Developing a cyst. Seek out only one thing. This is the easiest, simplest path. Choosing all the wrong answers. Just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth. There is no path. Just kidding. What if I'm not a good teacher? You guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. That's what we should talk about. We should definitely talk about the black hole in the back of the room. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Everyone run, run!
I felt pretty hard for this one.
Perfection, perfection, perfection.
Relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Game an allegory for the Christian journey from sinner to saint? We'll find out, won't we?
This one took a lot longer.
It's what we pilgrimage into it to find.
It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this. And it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
We'll finish this level before we do another centering. I think that'll be good timing. All right. The world's a stage. All right, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. You got it. Scott Pilgrim it is. Good. Stay right there. The one across this room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on. Say something to her. Okay. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Okay. Come over here. I like you. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now, go talk to her again. I'd rather bounce into the cones. Can I bounce between these two? What are some sacrifices you had to make? You're messing it up all again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. Oh. Oh. No. Yes, this is working. This is what it was like.
What's going to happen next in Coda's life? The solution to social anxiety.
That's perfect. Wonderful. This is really wonderful.
And having to chase success. The answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away, which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago.
You're doing great.
It just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. To be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with his person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
That's where we're going to pause for another centering. Well, Mobius Strip, to play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay, we're not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to try not to click anything. Oh, wait, is it going to click? Oh, no. I really hope it doesn't click. Hang on, we'll see if this works. Okay, I think we pulled away. All right, so what are you noticing? What's missing? What are you avoiding? What are you delighting in? A lot happened in that last little chunk. What did you draw out of it? While you all are thinking, I'll go back through. No one is perfect, but you can be perfect as long as you're growing. One of my mentors talking about holiness for sure. Strict compliance with man's doctrine phase. They're not telling you what they said and then putting you in a prison. So we noticed the prison motif returning, really recurring throughout this whole phase, right? Continues to be missing is Coda's perspective. We're noticing more of Davy's judgmental nature. He's becoming more and more judgmental. Social isolation phase. I think I'm trying to avoid casting either person as 100% saintly or 100% messed up in a binary way between Davy and Coda. So we're avoiding binaries and assumptions. What's missing is a full experience of the game because it keeps forcing us into the next level. What are we delighting in? I liked the bouncy cones. What else? I'll give us another couple seconds. Seemed like there was some delighting in the house section. All right. Let's return to the game. Oh, noticing directions to the play is kind of like the rest of the game. Delighting in Coda's growth. Okay. See if I can get into this. So up to you if you want to close your eyes for this next part or not. I'll, for the sake of the game. Yeah, why not? All right, not very effective so far. I can't even tell when I'm clicking on things. I have no idea if I'm even clicking on anything. All right, I got to peep. Oh, whoa. Okay. Oh. Well. There we go. Okay. Don't think we're going to be able to do this without our eyes open.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already.
Thanks for the permission.
It's impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Blind. Help, I'm blind. Oh, look, it's our person from our thumbnail. Blind research. Back down we go. Captain, what can we do? More blind. Blind, captain. Blind, medical. Blind, officer. Systems. An elevator. Truth. The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. Well, I want to know what your face is. Who are you, Truth? Navigation. What's the other person? We can't know what they are. Engineer. I want to know what their name is. Can I see it from up here? No, it's blurry. I think it's Truth again. What's going on? All right. We'll solve it this time. So we go up to the Truth, and the Truth tells us the only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. Something that is honest. I can't keep making these. That's it. That's the truth. I don't feel it anymore. I'm out of ideas. It's draining me.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
I don't feel it
First
anymore.
off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Hello? What is this, mist? Where'd this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no, what happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Doesn't matter what I say, does it? Deal. Wonder what the puzzle could be, y'all. What do you think? A little shrine, huh? Okay, Wanderstop. Perfect. Come along. I'll show it to you.
Time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet. And so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you press first you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Then you have to close the first door. All right, what's next? And then just press this switch right here. Ha! That was so simple. Can't believe I never solved it.
Out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
These are just words on a wall. Trust me, you'll see. Trigger warning. Trigger warning, crying. You have to say that the game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. Sure, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did the walls just crumble? Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I feel games, I feel energized. It is easy. It never stops being easy. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. As somebody that just took the clergy health survey, that is definitely, this feels very familiar in a different way.
I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better. How about a TV with surround sound?
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Please, where's the machine? You have to trust me. Patience. I promise this will work. Please continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off of me. Yes, more. Keep
I
going.
don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never
In
felt
honor
so
of Hollow
lonely.
Knight, we'll do Vessel for certainty.
I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
That's it. I'm free. I'm free. It's the prison.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
How are we doing? Are we feeling okay? It's a jarring scene. The machine. What's the guard? The grind to work for survival, the exhaustion of keeping going on even though you want to stop. Hey, guard. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. It's the press. Well, we got to see the machine. What will we do if we see it? Can you give us answers? Answer a few questions. Can you give us answers? What is the machine? Please, could you take a moment for an interview? Will the machine ever explain itself? Well, the machine... What will you do with it? How did you capture it? What can you tell us? It's the machine. Seems like Davy's a bit more inclined to run away rather than work through what's going on the way Coda might be. The when to rest versus process or balance. You stopped. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. There are people out there. Can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How can we possibly go back to trusting you to do the job? So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. All right. I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My followers, my friends. Oh, chills. Falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize. It refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. It's not important. We're stronger than it thinks we are. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Here we go. Back to the beginning, baby.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Not the room of ideas. Whoa.
So I started showing Coda's work to people.
The door.
This one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon. I can't even aim for the lamppost.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy, so beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Reminded of a takeaway I first encountered in employee training, the impact that can outweigh intent. Indeed. Really wondering who you are in that context, or who you have been in any of these contexts. Who is the player?
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Also worth noticing, this was the first time that Davies flubbed his words and said,
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
That looks familiar.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end.
Did you hear it?
That game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate.
Oh, it's so good, y'all.
Idea behind the invisible maze.
I got chills again. Oh, that's such a good twist. Mmm.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Lizzie says, is the tower distant or are Davy's feelings for Coda now distant? Coyote says, Davy, you exposed something private that Coda trusted you with and gained pleasure from it. Twyla says, what could that possibly be saying, Davy? And then the wall down there being a source engine default texture of the wall. And then Lizzie points out, why are we trying to fix Coda?
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress.
Interesting, huh?
And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
So you're telling me that this tower
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
has 3 puzzles that only
I don't know
Davy
why
can
I would be.
solve?
It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
I have been intentionally pointing those out to you guys the entire time.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
More chills. Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you.
When I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. What was that? You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer.
The people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give? Violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Would you simply let them be the way
I didn't
they
have
are?
anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something that I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Adding lampposts got you the hardest. I think the hardest for me was the cleaning game. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet, which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing that you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way.
The room is closing in on itself.
I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Epilogue.
more, more love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Have I always been able to crouch? I did not realize I've been able to crouch this whole time.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
And so Davy leaves. Another little shrine doorway here. Go to therapy indeed. See you in 10 years. When you release an incredibly emotional, powerful game. They're almost like monoliths. I'm going to go back through and read the chat. Don't worry. I saw we had a lot of conversation about the complicity of us in this game. The toxic nature of Davy, the narcissism of the situation, the boundaries, set or not set. The honesty, the vulnerability. Does anybody recognize it? Looks familiar. What's up there? And we float. Amazed. But also, that horizon's gorgeous. Oh.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove.
This project would not have been possible without the following individuals listed there. Turn Back, performed by Helena Heron, and written. Some additional thanks to these folks.
But I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
Got a phone call. You're all good. It's a lot of feels. That is the game. That is the experience. So let's reflect. How to reflect on a game that points out reflecting on games can do harm. Yeah, man. How about that? All right. Well, let's think about it. Before we get into the divine, before we review our intentions, let's do one last noticing, missing, avoiding, delighting. Feeling icky was warranted indeed. Oh yes, let me go back through the chat while we think about what we were noticing, missing, avoiding, delighting in. So let's see. Last one I remember was the lamppost ones. Lizzie says, giving a little K-pop Demon Hunters vibe. Marlena says, what a plot twist. Twyla says the generation of nuns leaving churches and organized religion jumped to mind there. I'm curious to know more about that. Marlena points out the Delulu parasocial relationship. Yeah. How about that? I wonder about that. That could be something that we notice. I'll add these in here. Parasocial, nun culture. Paul Addict scripture. Coyote pointing out the complicity and the stalkery narcissistic abuse. Feel bad for Davey. Davey was changing the games. Why doesn't he just make his own? Opium of the people. Obviously has a little knowledge and skill. That is a good question. One of those games kind of like Moon RPG where I sit with is the winning move not to buy or play the game at all for a bit. Yeah. And should we take games that tell us that that's the answer at face value or wrestle with them? Go to therapy. Contentment with knowing what is what's meant to be, that Christ has his hand on your shoulder and whatever happens, it's what needs to happen. Without Davey, be stuck in the prison games. Probably true. A lot of feelers. Okay. Feeling icky. Didn't think we were the end. Missing is a clear guide on the lines between Davey and the narrator and Davey, the actual game dev, and Wanderstop. So missing is a boundary in the dev. There's no doubt that this is at least inspired by biographical nature. But I think it's also a commentary on Davey's experience with creating a very popular game and the expectations that people might have foisted upon him. Not only that it releases without consent, he changed them to fit his narrative. That's very important. We noticed the adjustments to the game. Are you the generation of nuns or people who leave the church and the church's way of framing them in a way that I feel like Davey had been framing Coda, plus how Coda ultimately responded to Davey setting that hard boundary? Casting those in need of their faith conversions versus how that person might be closer to the vine than we are. Yeah. So avoiding, delighting. These are all good points. What else? What was missing for a while was the truth. Reliability. What we were avoiding was the truth as well. Coda, they said that Coda added the lamps when it was actually Davey. So what did Davey add? What did Coda add? What's true? What isn't? In a weird sense, it's not like a pure delight, but the fact that Davey changed the cleaning scene brought a lot out of me. Avoiding full closure. Delighting in that lack of closure. Yeah, we don't get Davey's resolution. We're feeling kind of like avoiding analysis of people through media. I think it's an interesting thing that happens in this game where we start with a very distinct Davey analyzing games, and then eventually we take in this weird twist to Davey analyzing Coda. Delighting in Davey doing work. Maybe starting to get it. Wanted Coda to be what Davey wanted him to be, but not who Coda was. Struggling with the no closure a lot. That's okay. That's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what we can talk through anyway. So intentions and the divine are my intentions that I brought into this were, what did I miss? Some background noise and curiosity. I will say, I think this went really well. So as far as the curiosity goes, I feel like this game hit. It was impactful. I really appreciate folks in the chat. Yeah, you're all good, Wisen. I will do my best to be there on time as well. I think that background noise and things that I missed, it wasn't actually as much. I do feel like I paid more attention on his words, on Davy's words. I did try to look, but I didn't find much. Really no less meaningful 10 years later. Yeah, it's no less meaningful like 2 weeks later. It still hit and got the chills out of me. So I love it. Where did we notice the divine in this? We've already mentioned a little bit of the divine's role in individual lives and outsiders overanalyzing spiritual relationships. Got way more invested than I thought. I mean, I'm glad. Coda's reply. It was firm but graceful and transparent. It's something that I think was really important with Coda is the reality that whatever happened during that cleaning era, it seems like they found a centering that Davy didn't. And whatever they found worked for them, which is interesting. So I see the divine in that healing game and its impact on Coda. Where else did we find the divine? I'll give like another minute or two. I would encourage you to take some time and look into this game, especially if it did something for you. Maybe try playing it for yourself. See if you can find anything, doing some research online. There is a mod of this game that allows you to not take advantage of Davy's adjustments. So you can essentially try to solve the horrible puzzle in the tower, or anywhere earlier in that. There's a lot that you can do, a lot that you can experience. A lot of fan theories are out there. Found that Davy finally was finally processing and taking that time. Really well. Yes, that does exist. A Davy-less mod is crazy that exists. Yep. It is out there. I have not played it. But I think it's definitely a game worth your time, worth playing, worth experiencing for yourself. Coyote, I did find your argument of the the allegory of the Christian walk being really fascinating, the process of sanctification. I think that's interesting. I think there's a lot that could be said about this game, and a lot that I hope that you'll take the time to ask and experience for yourselves and wrestle with in this game, because it's a powerful one. I think you will hopefully have understood why I wanted to do this one as a Pixel pilgrimage. I think it is an incredible pilgrimage. I think it asks a lot of hard questions of the player. And so I hope that you enjoyed it. And I hope that you will consider playing it for yourself or join us on our next pilgrimage, either way. But this has been our latest Pixel pilgrimage. And I really hope that this, if for those of you that have been here for all three of them, can see how intriguing it is, how very different all three of our pilgrimages have been. I'm loving this as a concept. I think this is a really cool thing that we've stumbled into, these Pixel pilgrimages. And so again, I'll encourage folks that want to experience our very first one, that you consider going to the link up above. As soon as you said the game, I was like, oh, we in here. Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff. It's a real good game and a very surprising game. I have some ideas for our next pilgrimages, so we'll probably take some more in the near future. Something that I'd like is to do one a month. That would be a good goal for me. But for the time being, I'm not setting a timer on it. I'm just doing them as the time kind of allots itself. The nice thing about this game is that it was nice and short. So just a 2-hour experience for the entire thing is really nice. So I will try to get this one on the Circle Hub pretty soon. And maybe we'll get the Everhood one up a little bit later, because this one will be pretty easy. I'm going to drop that in the chat again for those that are curious to join the Pixel Pilgrimage Hub. Again, the Neva Pilgrimage is available in full with questions and the full video playthrough up for $50. That goes straight towards Checkpoint Church and sustaining this ministry that we've got going on here. So if that is for you, consider indulging in it. Again, if you would rather take this to your local community, or if you'd rather a personally hosted guide or a live guided experience into a video game, reach out to me. We'll talk about it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how we can make that happen in your local church community, or small group or youth group or whatever it may be. So with that, I'm going to wrap this one up with our 3 things that we believe to be true about every single one of you out there. Whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate God, hate church, no matter what. We believe these 3 things to be true about you. Number 1 is that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here. Number 3, that you, yes, you matter. You're a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, join us this Sunday for the very first episode of the Checkpoint Church podcast at 1 p.m. Eastern on this YouTube channel and Twitch channel. We're going into an every other week cadence for our nerdy sermons. So look forward to a new thing being done, new breath, new wineskins. We'll see how it all goes. But appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Enjoy Silk Song if that is your vibe. I hope you have fun playing through it. I am going to start it up before too long, and